Welcome back to another episode of Recovery Life. My name is LATOYA, and we are back. I want to swallow, like I had this gum in my mouth so long, and it's like evaporating. But I'm going to take a moment to have my guest introduce herself. How are you today?
I'm good. My name is ERIKA Anderson.
Tell me a little bit about ERIKA Anderson.
Growing up, like a lot of life was really, really rough, and I never knew myself because I was always trying to like fit in, do what everybody else is doing. I just was trying to find a place like my entire life. So like this past year has been the first time where I'm learning like what does ERIKA like? What does ERIKA enjoy? And like it's a process. Mm-hmm. It really is. Like it feels like starting as a baby all over again.
So I love the way you started. So when you said finding a place, a lot of times people will say, what does that mean when you say, I need to find a place? Can you give me a description of what your idea of finding a place was?
I think like as a kid, you look at like families, you look at like what is something supposed to be, like loving, caring, all that. So having the childhood that I did, I never really felt like I had somewhere to go, someone to go to. I didn't feel like I had like anywhere. So it was like finding a place for me was, I was always reaching for something that wasn't there because it was like, it was in me. Like having.
So creating.
Yeah.
Creating things.
Mm-hmm.
How detached does that make a person from their reality when they have no clue of what the reality that they want is supposed to look like?
I felt very detached. Mm-hmm. Like it almost felt like I put on a mask everywhere I went based on the people that I was with. I was this way or I was that way or I was that way. And like over all those years of doing that, like I really did lose, like who am I? That's what it felt like. Mm-hmm.
So when you're going through these channels of finding out who you are, we get attached, like you said, to other people's realities, right? Mm-hmm. And we try different things, we do different things, we say we become chameleons of their world, right? So what were some of the things that you attached yourself to during that time?
For me, it was always like as long as there was like a substance involved, it was easier for me to like attach to whatever people were doing. So like I remember when I lived in Florida, I became like a hillbilly. Like I was wearing all camo, going out like on the trucks with everybody. We were all like, I don't think we were smoking weed at that point, but like drinking beers. And then when I moved back from Florida, I moved to East Haven. It was like a whole bunch of bikers mm-hmm. and all that. So then I started smoking and drinking with them. But like I noticed looking back, like my style would always change. My attitude would always change. Like wherever I was, it was always like what these people were doing. But mm-hmm. substance like had to be involved for me to feel like not like antisocial in a way. Because I feel like I couldn't connect if there wasn't something to help me connect.
So a lot of times, like you saying, like it helped you have a voice.
Right.
Because I can't be like this if I don't have something to give me the courage to become like this.
Right.
And because you hadn't created your own way yet, you were being a part of somebody else's. Mm-hmm. So how did that cause problems in your life with substances?
I relied on it. From ages like 14 till last year, I always smoked weed, mm-hmm. but it wasn't up until around when I turned 21 that I started drinking. And the drinking, it was just like a whole new world. It was like the liquid courage like people talk about. Like me personally, I'm pretty reserved, I'm pretty quiet, like I kind of just like scope out rooms. You're never gonna hear me being the loudest in the room, but you know, there was times where I wish I could walk up to that person or I wish I could say this to that person. So every time I drank, I had no fear. Mm-hmm. No fear at all. But it wasn't real.
So when that happens, the liquid courage, mm-hmm. when a person, so how much sobriety do you have right now?
I hit a year tomorrow.
Oh, look at that. Mm-hmm. You see that? That is so amazing. That's God, mm-hmm. time, and serendipity, mm-hmm. right? So, how hard was it for you to start to use your voice without the promotion of a substance?
Honestly, it started maybe like 2 months ago. So like this whole year in recovery, I had such bad anxiety, and like I would walk into meetings and be like the first one to run out because I'm like, don't talk to me. It wasn't like I didn't want to talk to people, but like there's just like this voice in my head that like tells me like it doesn't matter what you have to say, or it's like all these negative things. But up until like 2 months ago, like I think me sitting with myself most of this year and like learning what I like, learning to be okay with being alone, learning all these things, like now it's getting to the point where like I do fellowship with people, and I do have people that reach out to me, and I reach out to people, and like I'm starting to build up the courage to like be ERIKA and like be around people who also like accept me for ERIKA.
I like that. So tell me and the viewers, who is ERIKA that you're getting to know?
Very artistic. Before I got sober, I never painted things. Like I paint houses, and I have for a long time, but never painted pictures, never drew anything, never had the courage to sing in front of people, but like that's my biggest passion and has been since I was a kid. So like now I'm starting to be comfortable doing that. You know, spending time with family. I also really like to just chill out and watch a good movie, like watch a good show. Like it's slowly coming to me, like the things that I enjoy, and like I'm okay doing them.
Okay. I like that. So you're getting to know yourself, and you're also getting comfortable with being able to get to know yourself as well, right? Because you're recreating yourself. And you're actually recreating the self that you like. You're not becoming something like other things. You're becoming who you like, right? And then it's interesting because you're a painter. So you have a beautiful voice. I heard you sing, and you have a really beautiful voice. So you're starting to do the things that you actually like. For somebody who is not even close to being where you are with just the steps that you've taken so far, how hard do you think it is for them to be where you are right now?
I think, and this is something I've definitely noticed, you have to want something bad enough for change to happen. Like all the years that I was either stuck in pity or stuck in, you know, I was not ready for change because I really didn't even think it was, like I thought it was possible, but I just wasn't there yet. I think it's a necessity for you to be ready to change and want it bad enough to like take those steps, because it really does involve like taking steps.
I have a tough question. What does it feel like to be ready, if you could describe it?
Rock bottom. It wasn't until I hit rock bottom and I knew like there's two choices here. Either I continue in this life of chaos and pain and being like so uncomfortable in my own skin, or I finally take a step on blind faith. And like that's exactly what I did, because like I've had people tell me before, like, oh, you don't look like your story, or you don't look like you've gone through that. And it's like, you can't judge a book by its cover. Like, I don't know, it really like, I just had to take those steps, blind faith, and trust God.
You have a really big faith in God, which is something we have in common, because I clearly believe you have to have a God. Whatever people decide to call their higher power is up to them. But what has your relationship with God been like in your recovery right now?
I mean, I trust him 100%, and like I think that trust is what's like I see everything that he does. Like there isn't a day where that goes by where I'm like, oh, that was me. Like I believe that God carries me because I trust him 100%. So like the relationship I have with him today, like it just feels like peace in my heart. Like I'm where I'm supposed to be now, because during my like active addiction, I was crying almost every day because I found God before I fell into addiction. So just knowing that there was that separation there because of my choices, it was really heartbreaking.
So you found God because of your addiction, and it says that that's when he uses you for his own good. Is because in order to help other people, you have to have your own story.
Right.
Or because perfection doesn't help people.
No.
You know, it just doesn't help people. So what do you do to ensure that somebody else gets to feel this one day, what you feel today?
I have to push myself to like through the uncomfortability. Like I said before, I'm a really quiet person, reserved person, but like if somebody asks me to speak my story, even if I'm like scared or anxious, like I have to just do it, like because I know that like we can only keep what we have by giving it away. And I know that God has been with me through everything I've ever been through, and if I can help somebody by either sharing what's like the path and sharing all that, and like that's what I have to do. It's necessary for me to like help somebody else if I can.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Have you gained any information from the person that you grew up? Did you take pieces of the person that you were becoming along the way to be this person you are now that you liked through the struggle?
It's a hard question. I think like the one thing about me is even through like addiction, through all that, like I always cared deeply for people. I always had like a lot of love in my heart, and I think that's like the one thing I'm carrying on with me still. It's just now I'm learning boundaries because I had none. Like for the longest time, I didn't care. It was like, whatever you're gonna put me through it, because I don't wanna abandon you like I've been abandoned. I don't wanna make you feel what I've felt, but in that process, I hurt myself more because not everybody has my heart, not everybody has my mindset, and I can't expect that on other people. That was like a very big lesson for me.
That's a huge lesson.
Yeah.
Do you practice taking care of your inner child?
I actually noticed recently, starting the steps and like getting a sponsor, I had talked to somebody maybe a month or two ago about like the 4th step and getting down to like all these root issues. And I realized that most of my recovery so far, I've been avoiding that inner child. I think it's really hard to like face a lot of the things that have happened, but I'm realizing like it's very necessary for me to like heal that inner child because she's the one that's hurt. So that's why like I made it a priority for me to get a sponsor, for me to start the steps, and like because before I got a sponsor and started the steps, I actually didn't think that I needed the steps. I just thought I need God. But like this is God's process because he doesn't want me to live my entire life feeling how I've always felt. He wants me to get the help, and like the steps are something that really helps you be completely honest with yourself, even if it's hard.
Yeah, it's hard. And it's the step one as the adult and you making the decision to do the rest of the steps.
Right.
And it is a perfect step one is not using, first of all, and writing the truth about everything in the first step about the things you have no control over. Right? And then the inner child is wide open from that point. Because if you think about it, she's in the middle, in the root.
Right.
And if you take the pot top off, you can see her.
Yeah.
The purpose of the steps is to have her elevated each step that you take so that she can be seen again, right? And then she will start to trust you, and then you guys will merge as one. It's a very beautiful moment in time in life, and as you write, you'll be able to feel the connection, and when they both come together, there's like this sense of peace that comes over. And you'll realize that she trusts you
Right.
with both of your lives, you know? And when you have a God in your life like you do, and you take the time to get to know him and realize, I see what you're saying. You don't just want me to say, I love you, Lord, without
Right.
being able to show him by giving all that he's helped you get through and helping other people with it.
Right.
So your church is here. If it's not just about a building, we can't just go in there and leave it in there. We have to come out here and help other people with the experience, strength, and hope, and know how to do it without causing harm, right?
Right.
So you have a powerful God in your life that has opened your mind up and said, this is the way I walked you. This is the way I would like for you to follow. And how difficult was that for you to embrace that?
Honestly, I'm not sure if you had heard me share in a meeting that I was planning on going into the Air Force. I feel like God sat me down really quick and he was just like, listen, like, that's like a money-driven goal. But I remember when I was 15 and I found God, there was a pastor that said to me, like, there's going to be broken people around you and I'm going to give you, like, the gift to help people. And, like, that there was just that day that I told you I talked to somebody about the fourth step, and I feel like God just like showed me like to be still, because like I really do believe his purpose for me is to help people, not for me to be money driven. So like sitting down and embracing that, like it feels good because I can see what he's doing. I'm not like blinded by anything else. It's like even if I want something, I know God is going to show me, like maybe not. Maybe not.
And maybe not right away, too, because
Right.
some things is a curse,
Right.
you know. And knowing the difference is definitely key. When you're having conversations in your way with the God of your understanding, and you're welcoming him into every part of your life, because we don't get to pick the pieces that he gets to be in and not, you know.
Right.
And you're being shown your transparent self. How happy are you with the outcome?
I'm really happy because, you know, thinking back to like where I was a year ago, like sometimes it puts me in disbelief because I'm like, ERIKA a year ago versus ERIKA today. It's just a complete change. And like the biggest change was just allowing God to like have my life, because with my will, it's just chaos, because I chase the wrong things. And like if I'm putting God first, I know he's going to put in front of me what needs to be put in front of me and show me like what is wrong and what is right. But like if I'm doing it, then I don't know what's wrong and right, and I'm very indecisive, and then I always pick the wrong thing. Always.
I like that, but it's broke. But I like that.
Yeah, exactly. I'll excuse it.
Yeah. They say we have a broken picker when you know, when it comes to certain things, when it comes to things that we are not clearly looking at right away. So we have to work on ourselves so we can see what can contribute or take away, right? They look similar sometimes if you don't know the difference. You know, because I was always told that the enemy knows what you like as well. And he knows how to gift wrap it. But when you give unwrapped shit, it's still shit. Right?
Yep.
And it's like, ta-da, it's shit, you know, but it was in a pretty package.
Exactly.
Right? So our inner kid will touch a hot-ass flame because, ooh, the lights.
Right.
But the adult in us will be like, no, don't touch that. It's hot. That's the merging that we have to do. We can't. We have to stop the ooh, that's hot, and you know.
I know exactly what you mean.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, what does it feel like when you make it through those lessons now?
I feel so proud of myself, because before, like I have this thing inside me where it's like I can just ignore it all. I can just ignore it all and just be like literally, but I like that. And then even though like I know like the consequences are right here and like what it really is right here, I'll just be like, nah, but I'm going to see for myself. And then it always smacks me in the face. I always have a gut feeling about things too, and my gut feeling has never been wrong, but I usually do the opposite of my gut feeling. So it's like,
Yeah. See?
yeah.
And so, and we haven't even touched like relationships and all, because we have relationships beyond intimate relationships with family and friends and coworkers and all of that stuff. And we base our needs off of the things we used to know,
Right.
off of what's comfortable for us. And the hardest thing for us to do is to make a decision to let go of something that we really once would have loved to stay. And, you know, and that's work and, you know, just anything that we outgrow sometimes, right? How painful is it for you to have to make a decision adult-like?
I feel like I genuinely love where I am today so much that I'm not willing to let something take that away from me. So like I have made decisions in this past year where a year ago would not have made the right choice. But like I can see things more clearly now. And I know that a lot of the things I tolerated in the past was, like I said before, I don't want to abandon you like you abandoned me or like I've been abandoned. I don't want somebody to feel how I felt. But I'm learning that boundaries are so important. And like if I need to let something go or if I need to make this decision, like I have to make it. Even if it's hard, even if I feel like maybe some hurt, because like I do put myself in somebody else's shoes and like I understand how something can hurt, but I have to choose what's best for me. Because if I don't choose what's best for me, like nobody else is gonna. I'm me.
That's right. That's right.
Yep.
They're not gonna be over to tap you on the shoulder, stranger, like, you shouldn't do that. It's looking like it might go bad,
Right?
you know?
Right.
So yeah, you have to know the warning signs for yourself.
And I feel like I definitely do today. Whereas in a year ago, I did not at all. I mean, maybe I did, but I was just like, nah, this is all I know. So being where I'm at today with therapy, with like people, places, and things are everything. Like I don't let anybody in my life that's like gonna bring me back to who the old ERIKA was. Like I am so important. Like it's important for me to keep like I look up to strong women. Like I want strong women to like guide me. I don't want somebody like in the same place as me because then how am I supposed to grow?
Right.
Like, so I don't know, all of it's just showing me like how to make the right choices, how to do the right things, because I never knew.
And I want you to take this with you throughout every day. Water seeks its own level, right? So if your water is and it's doing that, that's not your situation.
Right.
And that's in anything, work. This isn't people. We're talking about just in life, right? So if you're elevating and you're not trying to drown people, then chances are you're on different floors, right? Emotionally, you know? Because if we stop going to things that are pleasing to the eye and pleasing to, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. But it's going to help and it's going to feel good and you're going to grow from that, right?
Right.
So, has there been some time when God has said to you, like, no? And you was like, but wait a minute.
Yeah. There was actually maybe a few months ago, maybe like I forget when exactly, but there was a guy who had come into my life. Very nice looking guy, let me say. It was everything that I wanted. But I asked God one day, and like this is something I never did in the past, but I said, if this isn't for me, like remove it. The next day, this guy calls me and he's just like, you know, I don't think this is gonna work. We have different belief systems. And I was like, I put the phone down and I was like, I can't even be mad right now. Like, I can't be mad. I literally asked God, like, remove this if it isn't for me. So, like, even there was a part of the, like, I was kind of like, maybe I shouldn't ask that question again. Because God was like, if you're going to ask, like, I'm going to show
ready.
you.
Yeah, be ready. He don't play about his
No.
chosen.
He really doesn't. And I was like, wow, God. Like, I know sometimes it'll take like a little while for prayers to, it's all on his time. But his time was right then. And I was like,
Because you have work to do, that's why.
yeah.
You have work to do. And he usually links up people that has work to do with people who are on the path so that they can make sure that you're driven, because you cannot possibly do his will if you're not servicing yourself first in all areas of the life that you have lived.
Right.
Right? So, tell me what you do to make sure that you're spiritually fit.
You know, I don't like talk to God in a way where it's like I talk to him like he's right there with me. It's an everyday thing. Like, I think about it as like a relationship with my best friend or my sister. My sister is my best friend. The way that we put effort into each other, like that's the way I put effort into God. And it is necessary for me too, because like I need that relationship. And it's not just like a need, but like a want. I remember, I will never forget, and I never let myself forget how it felt when I was so disconnected from him. And that feeling of just like, I know God is there, but I have built up a wall in between us is like, I never want to be there again. So, you know, just continuing to do the right thing, not because it's the right thing to do, but because like, that's genuinely like what I want to be doing. I just feel like I'm making the right moves that God wants me to make, and therefore like our relationship stays strong and gets stronger. So, yeah.
Well, this time went by so fast.
I know.
I want to thank you for being here today. I'm absolutely going to have you come back again.
Yeah.
And you're going to be celebrating 1 year clean tomorrow.
I know, that's crazy.
Oh, that is amazing, and we congratulate you from Recovery Life.
Thank you.
And I will get you again.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of Recovery Life. Ciao.